looks like Mercedes actually have a plan to save themselves from a terrible 2023 and maybe actually come back in the championship. I'm saying maybe. Some of these are rumors, some are actual reports that I will be reading off to you, and some actual good news for the Mercedes squad. Firstly, let's talk about the W14. As we know, Bahrain was not a good showing for them, and they were about 8/10 off of the actual Red Bull, which is an insane margin for them to actually somehow come back from. Has it happened before? Yes. I mean, let's even take the actual Red Bull from the 2020 season and how by the end of the season, that Red Bull was actually comparable to the W11 and actually took a win off the W11, which is known to be one of the most unstoppable cars ever to exist. Comebacks are possible, and big changes can be happening, especially with such a big gap. Obviously, everybody has talked about the huge package coming in Baku, but new stuff has talked about the W14 that we saw in Bahrain was a prototype to actually test some things on the big upgrade coming in Bahrain. So these are all good signs. Can the actual team develop a car a lot better than what they have? Apparently, they've made a conscious decision to actually purposefully kind of have this car as a development towards them to see where the data can go. We do see that this is one of the cars on the grid that porpoises the least amount out of any car on the grid. Should be rolled out in April or a little bit before, but I mean, obviously, Baku is when the car is supposed to come out and when that huge upgrade package and the actual real W14 will come out. So as we know, they added that like huge top part, which actually adds channels going down into the rear wing and are on the engine cover to produce actual downforce. But it's kind of done the opposite to what they've wanted. They wanted that to produce downforce, but also not have the tires be shred. But it wasn't making actual lateral downforce, so the tires were getting shred in Bahrain. It really didn't perform to how they expected. This will definitely be the focus for the team because they had very little tire deg last year, and the actual W14 coming out in Baku will be a hybrid of what the 13 was with the new prototype 14. Reliability and efficiency to the engine was added for the 2023 season, and clearly we can see that this car is fast down the straights. They are missing the downforce, which, if you look at the W13 had a lot of downforce, but no straight line speed. So, like I said, prototype. Get what I'm saying? They're definitely making a car that is a hybrid of what's out right now and what the W13 was. Because let's face it, even with all the problems the W13 had, it was still a very good car. Definitely third in the pack, catching the Ferraris in some races and even getting a race win on merit. What's saving them is that there's a lot of time to develop this year and the actual cost cap itself. They're not scrapping the car like everybody is reporting for 2024 and just scrapping this year's car and developing in 2024. There is still a lot to work on and a lot of time. The season just started. So many more things can happen. That Red Bull car could actually fall down in the pecking order if some upgrade comes in. It's not good. Why give up on a season that's just the first race? People are over-exaggerating the situation, and Mercedes has solutions. Will they actually become true? I mean, I can't tell you that. These are some are rumors, some are news. I'm giving you my input. Before I go further in the video, please like and subscribe. We are almost to 1,000. Thank you all so much. Genuinely means the world. Can't believe we're so close. Thank you all. Let's get back into the W14 and Mercedes really news. And a familiar face is coming back. Something that really made me want to actually make this video. It's so far rumored, but it is the guy that has made championship winning cars for Michael Schumacher, Fernando Alonso, and Lewis Hamilton. This guy's name is James Allison. James Allison actually produced the Ferrari that Michael drove in from 2000 to 2004. He produced the Renault that Fernando Alonso drove in from 05 to 06. So that's 7 consecutive years of wins just through 2 drivers. And from 2018 to 2021, he produced the Mercedes cars, which Lewis Hamilton won all of them with the exception of 2021, and they still won the Constructors. James Allison will be looking over these upgrades that are coming in Baku. What makes this new W14 the not so prototype car? He will be developing on them. He'll be working on them. Clearly, Mike Elliott might be taking a step back while James Allison is coming back in. They did lose a lot of personnel. Nobody really speaks about this, but the team is in kind of a little bit of a rebuilding phase. They lost a lot of people to Red Bull, to even Mercedes, like Eric Blandon. So James Allison was also gone from 2022 and 2023, but it seems like he's back. He was a key contributor to actually the wins that Lewis Hamilton had in the cars that were being made. They were cars developed towards him. They knew what they were doing. They have a lot of data to actually use those types of cars, but it was him putting in the work to make sure that those cars were perfect. This is kind of Mercedes' last straw. They're pissed off with where it's going. It's not really correlating to what they thought it would. So bringing Allison was a must. Upgrades in Baku and both Imola will be huge upgrades coming from the Mercedes squad. They're trying to change the 2023 season because they know there is still so much time left for them to really outperform the car. It's not over, like I've been saying. Clearly, the side pods is also a big talk. And yes, we will get a hybrid of something that they've been making. It won't be the same side pod concept we've gotten with the W14 and 13. I guess we'll call this car the W14B because I guess it will be a B version of the car. It's not going to be that really just change up on the car but keep the philosophy the same. It will be a complete change up. Will I expect championships? No. Will I expect some wins? Yeah, very possibly they could be back into the running just because of James Allison coming back. More reports on the car actually getting a way better development. A prototype. All good reports if you're Mercedes fans. It actually seems pretty positive considering the race we just had not too long ago. Toto even talks about it's not just the zero side pods, but it's really everything that they're changing. The data correlates to even the underfloor having a problem, and really plenty of other things. I already mentioned before at the actual engine cover and how that airflow works from the top, because we do know that it looked pretty ridiculous when the actual car came out. And with the picture on screen, you see exactly the part that I am talking about. This part did not produce a downforce that they wanted it to produce. It does improve its straight line speed, but it's also gashing the tires. So you gotta have some type of compromise to where it produces straight line speed, but also doesn't gash the tires, because clearly the big Red Bull advantage is that the tires just last way longer than anybody else's, allowing them to push throughout the whole entire race. We saw that even in 2022 that the Ferrari car would just gash through its tires, and its biggest concern was that it just didn't have the tires to actually fight. Was the car fast enough? Yeah, it was extremely close, but without tires, you can't really get anywhere. And that all has to go into the actual setup and how the airflow works throughout the actual car. In the wind tunnel, the new W14 is coming out and being built. It's already been in the wind tunnel. They had this plan since the beginning, and now we're just hearing that this is a prototype to confirm, look, this car that is coming within 4 races, we even heard George say before the season even started, this season will not be won within the first 4 races. I really hope that's true. I do not want a Red Bull domination, and I want it to be a lot clearer of a top 3 or 4 fighting for this and a lot better racing. What do we think? Do we think that this Mercedes squad can actually make practically a historic comeback and improve what was kind of missing in this W14 and 13 car? Can they bring it back? Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you guys believe the reports that are being talked about? Do you think James Allison will play such a big factor in this car becoming so much better? Please leave your thoughts down below. Please leave a like, subscribe. It would mean the world, and peace.